right, y'all, we're live. Give us about 5 minutes and we'll go ahead and get started. Yep, so just give me a second and we'll go ahead and get started. We're going to have a fun time. I'm in my new office, so. All right. All right. So, if you're here, please feel free to say hi in chat. All right. Whoa. Hey, we've got 3 people watching. All right, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to share my screen, and for this stream, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about some Flutter. We're going to play around with the app we created yesterday, and we're going to have a lot of fun. So if y'all are here in chat, say hi, and we're going to go ahead and get this thing on the road. All right. So let me go ahead and make sure my chat's working. If anyone wants to say hi in chat, make sure that's going. And then we're going to go ahead and get started. All right. So Anybody around? All right, we're ready to officially begin. Ready? All right, let me go ahead and share the screen, and we're going to talk about what we're going to talk about today, which is Flutter. We did a part 1 last night, and it was pretty cool. We were able to run an iOS app made in Flutter on our phones, and today we're going to dive into the code. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to share my screen, and if you're in chat, say hi. But here we go. And for the sake of this stream, I'm not going to share my speech because it would be a little bit overwhelming for our viewers because I am going to be moving so fast and experimenting. But I am going to describe, for viewers who may not be able to see everything, I am going to describe exactly what I'm doing. So does that sound clear to everyone? It's just going to be a lot easier for everyone if I don't share the voiceover because there will be a lot of output. All right. Hey, Your Own Pay. Nice to see you around. Super excited you're here. Anybody else in chat? If you are, please say hi. All right. Let's go ahead and get started. So let's talk about some things before we actually get going. So first off, I'm going to introduce myself. So you guys have probably heard me around before. My name is Taylor Arndt. I am the owner, I guess, behind Taylor's Tech Talks, another YouTube channel here on the platform, where I do technology tutorials and other content from an accessibility perspective. I also have my Taylor's Teardown series, where I tear down popular applications, and I talk about how accessible or inaccessible they are for users of assistive technology. I will go ahead and put a link to my channel and everything in the description, but it is also, as well, beside the description, it is in the channel. So feel free, if you're not subscribed, subscribe to Techopolis. We're going to be doing a lot of content. This channel is here for programming, gaming, and other tech-related topics. So I'm super excited that y'all are here. And yeah, so let's go ahead and talk about what Flutter is. So Flutter is a cross-platform native technology, meaning that you can build iOS and Android and web applications with one code base. It's really pretty cool because you can build it all in one programming language called Dart. That's the programming language that Flutter uses. And what that will allow you to do is it will allow you to build apps that are available on all the platforms. Now, if you want to run on if you want to run on iOS, you will need a Mac in order to run it on your physical iOS device because you'll have to open up the Xcode workspace. But that's not a problem for me because I am running a Mac. So, yeah, does that kind of make sense? So basically, it's a way to write cross-platform apps with one code base. And I made an app yesterday that was just a sample app. It's basically an incrementing counter. We're going to continue with that app today. But what we're going to do today is we're going to actually try to see if we can't make that app do something. Doesn't that sound pretty fun? So full disclaimer, I am not a Flutter expert. We're going to literally be experimenting on the fly. So, what we did last time is we were able to do the first part of this, whereas I was able to run it on my device. We did not start going into the code, so that is where we're going to leave off today. So, are you all ready to get started? I am, and let's go ahead and get started. Make sure we don't have any more chats before I continue. Let's see here. Any other chats? All right, I don't see any more chats, so if y'all are ready to get started, let's go ahead and open up some code, shall we? All right, I'm going to open up some code, and I'm going to go ahead and open up our project from yesterday. So let's go ahead and do that. The way I'm going to do that is I'm going to go in my terminal. In my utilities, terminal. I'm going to go to my documents. What did I even call this thing? I think I called it Techopolis test. So cd Techopolis. And then it's under this folder called app. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to open up my favorite text editor called VS Code. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to open up this whole app folder. So I'm going to do code space period. Yes, I trust the yes. Yes, I would like to use those, so I'm going to. All right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do Command Shift E. That will open up the Explorer. I'm going to go to lib, which is the main.dart file. Main.dart, enter. Actually, sorry, VO space. Then, let's see. Hold on. I'm having some weird problems. Hold on a second. Let me get out of this real quick. Whoops. Having some issues here. Hold on. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to try that again. Basically what happened is it brought up a welcome page. So, Command Shift E. Okay. Let's try that again. I just had to close it. Alright. My Mac is being a little bit funny. So. Here we go. Alright. So that was a little weird there. Yes. Okay. So, I'm having a little bit of weird trouble here. VS Code is being a little bit fun. Alright. Here we go. So, we have our import package :flutter blah 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 blah. I'm gonna kind of go through all this stuff, but honestly, a lot of this is what am I gonna call this? A lot of this is boilerplate. So what I'm gonna actually first start doing though, just to show you what it is I'm gonna actually run this in Google Chrome. So the way I'm gonna do that, because basically to run on my default platform, the way I'm gonna do that is I'm actually gonna go to my terminal and I'm gonna do Flutter run. So Flutter run. Oops. That's because I need to be in the right folder. So first you have to cd into the app folder or the folder name that you want to. So Flutter run will allow me to run the app and it will open up in a new Google Chrome window. And you'll notice something, and I'm going to show you guys. But does anybody have any questions about what I've done so far? This will take a minute to spin up. So let me. And I'm getting a lot of voiceover output. Alright, so Chrome is open. So, what do I notice? Well, unfortunately, I see this little thing called Enable Accessibility. So basically, by default, unfortunately, when I open this up in Chrome, it's not accessible. So I have to hit Enable Accessibility to preview this in Chrome. So I'll do that, I guess. So it says you push the button 0 times. No questions. All right, your own pay. Well, hopefully you're enjoying it. So basically, I have to hit the button, and it will update the counter, right? That's all great and everything, but that's not something that we created. So what I want to do is I want to create something by ourselves. So if I hit increment, it's going to say 1. And if I hit increment again, it's going to say 2. So it's basically just a counter. That's fine. That's great. And I can kind of show you the code, but again, it's not that exciting. But let's create some buttons that actually do something. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up my main.dart file. And so void main, that's the main function. Run app. Class. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change this title. So the title, it says Flutter Demo. I'm going to change it to Taylor's first app. So it says title : Flutter Demo. Whoops. All right, I'm going to save this, and I'm going to run it again. Now I'm going to see if this real-time updates. I'm not sure that it does. So I may have to rerun this. Let me go ahead and see if it will update. I'm going to go back to my browser, and I'm going to refresh it. Nope. Okay, so what I'm going to have to do is... Hold on. Okay. So apparently I have an error. But... Oh, you know what? Yes, because I had an apostrophe, and that would try to end the quotes. So that's not going to help us. I'm going to save this, Command S, and I'm going to do this again. And it does auto-update. It's perfect. So the thing is that these are in single quotes. So that wouldn't work if I tried to do Taylor apostrophe S, because then it would end the string. I could always escape it, but it's fine. So I'm going to go ahead and refresh. Okay. So I'm going to, it takes a little bit to refresh, and I'm not exactly sure how we make it refresh. But it's still, not showing up what I want it to actually show up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, I'm going to wait for it to reload itself. And this process does take a little bit of time, unfortunately. At least that's what I've seen. And again, if there's any Flutter developers out there and I'm doing this the complete wrong way, feel free to tell me. Because again, this stream is literally just for experimentation purposes. And I admit that I don't know what I'm doing, but this is kind of what we do when we experiment. I'm going to go ahead and check chat real quick. Okay. All right, so we don't have any more chat messages. But yeah, we have 3 people watching, so if y'all have any questions or you want to see something or you want me to do something, let me know. I'm going to refresh this now. Okay. All right. So Yeah, I'm having a hard time getting this to refresh, but that's not the point of this, right? I just want to show you. But what we're actually going to do, though, is we're going to do something a little bit cool. We're going to try to get some buttons to actually do something. So, let us... I just changed it there as well. Okay. So int underscore counter equals 0. I'm going to get rid of that. Yep. But what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of the other thing, and we're only going to keep the floating action button. So we're going to get rid of the text, and we're just going to have one button. And just to start off simple, and then we're going to have that button do something interactive, and then we're going to make our own button. So we're basically kind of using what the boilerplate is, and we're trying to have it help us, right? So, all right. All right. So, oops. I'm going to get rid of that. And I'm going to try to run this now and see what happens. Okay, so I didn't get anything different. Okay. Alright, so I'm loading this app, trying to make sure it'll work. But I'm going to actually try to run this again on my iOS device. So I'm going to have to open up Xcode. And I'm wondering if, well, I don't know. I'm just going to have to see how this works because alright, can you guys still hear me? Alright, so I gotta connect a device. So I will be back in just a second. I need to go grab my other charger from the other office. I just moved into my new office today, so, you know, things are a little bit hectic. But hey, we're gonna do streams because we feel like it. So, let me go ahead and grab the dongle, and I'll be back in just a second, hopefully. But yeah, that's kind of how we play with the Flutter code, right? So we're playing with it, and yeah, I'm not actually sure where this thing is. Well, let's see if we can run it in a simulator. Let's see if we can do that, because the simulators are accessible, believe it or not. I'm going to run it on an iPhone 12 Pro Max, because I feel like it. Alright, so I'm running this on my simulator on the 12 Pro Max. And we're going to see how this actually works, because I can't find the dongle that I want. Build failed. Okay, let's figure out why. Oh, Jesus. Okay, so command-based script failed with an exit code. Whoa. Okay, so, that means that there must be an error in Flutter somewhere. Alright, so this is the perfect time. So, let's see. Let's go ahead and that's funny. That is funny. Okay, sorry guys, I just got a text that came through. Okay. So, it's saying that my Xcode isn't completed, which is funny because I think it is. Whoa, 26 errors. Okay, so it looks like I found my problem, y'all. We've got 26 errors. Let's see if we can't fix these. Well, I found one of them. I need to have an apostrophe at the end of that. Unterminated string literal. That's a pretty common programming error there. So we fixed that problem. All right, I'm going to put another one there. We had another string error. Underscore counter. I don't need that code, so I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to save it again. And I'm doing Control-Shift-M to see all the problems in the document. So Control-Shift-M is actually really helpful here because I'm able to see all the problems, and then I can click Enter, and it will bring me to the exact line that the problem will occur. So it's a really helpful command if you're in VS Code. I'm sorry, Command-Shift-M. All right, so let's try this again now. So save Command-S, Command-Shift-M. I can get rid of this tooltip because I'm not going to do that right now. I'm going to Command-Shift-S, or Command-S. Okay, I'm going to get rid of that. And I believe that's left brace, right brace to indicate. So I'm not going to have anything right now. I believe that's how you do it. Again, I saw a code example online. Okay, so onPress is required. So let's look up online. Right, so let's see. onPress. I'm going to do Flutter button example. And this is called a flat button. That's kind of what this button is called. It's called a flat button. I don't know why they call it that, but that's kind of what we're using here. It's just kind of the basic button, I guess. Not exactly sure why they call it the flat button, but... All right, so let's see. I'm going to put some code in here and just see if it actually works, and we're going to kind of figure out if it works. Whoops, that doesn't help. Let's see what happens now, y'all. I'm going to get rid of a bunch of this. I'm going to get rid of this other class as well. It's fine. Alright. Okay. So I'm going to actually get rid of most of this code in this file. And I'm going to replace it with class my app. And all I'm doing here is just seeing if I can get this to work. So we only have 2 problems now. Yay. So home : my home page. So we have to correct this method to make sure that it conforms to the other method that we made earlier in the other code sample. And we're going to try to do something with this code sample, right? But for now, I just want to see if I can get this to work. Right, so, all right. That's because I don't think any of my other code, there we go. But actually, what I'll find easier is all right, so I'm going to put this in here. Oh, okay. Flat button apparently is deprecated. Okay. So, All right, so this should actually run. Now, flat button is deprecated and shouldn't be used. I understand that. But for the purposes of this, I think we got our app to run. So let's go ahead and verify that, and let's see if our app actually runs. And then we can kind of deconstruct it and kind of show, we can kind of play with it and mess with it now that we've got a code sample. And yeah, I will have to figure out why flat button is deprecated. I didn't even know that was a thing. So let's go ahead and let's run this. I'm going to go to my Xcode. I'm going to hit run. Build succeeded! Woohoo! Yeah! Alright, so my simulator's launched in the background. So basically what I think the optimal workflow should be for this is you should write your code in VS Code and then run it on your device using Xcode. Or, Android Studio, depending on what kind of device. But that way you can run it, because I can't run it directly from VS Code to my iOS device. That's not possible, I don't think. Alright, so I need to turn on voiceover in the simulator. Turn on voiceover. Oh. And look at it, guys, look at this. Flutter flat button. Login. Login. So look, we've got a flat button and we've got login buttons. Now, once I can actually do this on my phone, that'll be a lot easier because I can see it real time, but I was able to simulate this on the simulator. So let's actually take this code apart and let's see if we can't actually do something with it. Right, maybe we want to try to, I don't know, change the title. So, I'm going to go out of these problem indicators. Command-Shift-M. I'm going to do title, text. I'm going to change this to Taylor's apostrophe. So that's the first thing I did. I just changed the title. Let's see if that will actually reflect. I'm going to do Command S, Command Shift M. Body isn't defined, huh? Okay. So let's figure out what happened. Alright, so it looks like I was able to change the title successfully, but I think the Command-Shift-M is really helpful because then you know that your app will actually work when you go to Xcode and run it, right? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to Xcode, Command-R. Yep. Oops. I'm going to replace it, and I'm going to run it. And let's see if it actually works. Build succeeded. Awesome. So our build has succeeded. And my simulator's up. And let's see what we've got. So our Xcode is up. All we did here was change the title to Taylor's first Flutter app. Uh-oh. Taylor's first app. Congratulations us. We made something that says Taylor's first app. And then we've got a login button. Now, it's weird how the simulator reads. It's like login, login, login. But how many buttons do I actually have? I think I only have one. But let's go ahead and change that title to something more reflective. Like push me or click me. Just something as our first app. And what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to get it to say hello world when it's clicked. So let's see if we can accomplish that mission. Right? And then we can kind of learn from this code, right? Because we copied it. But I want to try to learn from it. And I want to try to deconstruct it. So I'm going to do Command-Shift-M. Child text login. Okay, so I'm going to say click me. Apostrophe. So I think where it said child text login, I think that's where I can put the new text that I want the button to say. I think that's how this code works. But let me go ahead and verify that by pressing Command-Shift-M. Yep. All right, I'm going to run it now. And let's see if we can't change that button title. Build succeeded. Okay. So okay, so interesting. So we have click me. Okay, so we do have multiple buttons. So the first one says click me. Okay, so we do have multiple buttons. Let's see if we can only have one button. I'm not sure why we've got multiple, but let's see if I can get rid of the other buttons. And then we're going to try to have them do something. Rid of. So I'm thinking. All right, so I just got rid of this whole other button. Okay. I'm going to add a right brace, and I'm going to save it. All right. what I'm going to do now is I'm going to figure out this whole flat button being deprecated, because this is kind of bothering me. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to do let's mess around with some snippets, shall we? So I'm going to install some snippets to try to help me, right? Because, those would be cool if I could actually use those in my editor to try to help me create better apps. So, because basically what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get rid of all the other buttons except the ones that I actually need. If there's anyone in chat, feel free to say hi. So, alright, so we don't have any more chat messages at the moment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and see if I can reload my editor and see if I can't get the snippet going. Alright. So I'm going to read these snippets real quick, so... Group. Alright, so those kind of help, but I'm also going to install some Flutter snippets as well. Oops. I'm going to install Flutter widget snippets as well. So, I'm going to refresh my VS Code. First, Techopolis test, cd app, Code, period. All right, so let's see if I can't do this now. So, what's this gonna do? So I'm gonna actually look up for VS Code. All right, so let's see. Okay, so let's see. I'm gonna go awesome. Because I believe I have awesome Flutter Snippets installed. Let me see. I do. Okay. Let's figure out exactly how to use it though. Alright, so let's figure out how to use it. Alright, so awesome. Oops. Alright, let's figure out how to use this thing. List view B. Okay, let's try it. Okay. All right. So I'm going to try to get this to work, but honestly, I think that I'm going to call this right now because I have to quick go do something. But this has been an awesome stream. Michael is probably going to go live later on today. But feel free to subscribe. We'll do more of these streams. We'll play around with more technologies. But feel free. And yeah, feel free to subscribe, and we will have more streams coming up soon. All right, bye everyone.